Welcome back to our Foredom series of All About Accessories. I'm Melissa Muir. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about carbide burrs and how I use some of these in my own work. There are a lot of times where I might have a very tight spot to get into, or maybe I need to bring a bezel down, and these tools really help me out. Let's take a look. So there's quite a few that are available, but these are kind of my go-tos here in my studio. I have a couple that are a little bit more aggressive, and you'll notice that they also have a 1/8 inch shank, whereas some of these finer ones are 3/32 inch shank. These are also pretty aggressive, but there are different styles of them. So I have a tapered, an inverted cone, a cylinder, as well as a rounded or a bald head burr. Now this piece is a great example of where I would maybe want to use that inverted cone. You'll see inside of this there's a little bit of extra solder, and sometimes that can get in the way of my pieces, especially when I'm trying to set a stone. So I could take this inverted cone, which also has teeth on the bottom edge of that, and just very gently run along the edge of my bezel. Or if necessary, I can come in and just very gently grind away at some of the excess solder that might be out further away from my bezel as well. Now in the case of this piece here, my stone takes a sharp dive at the point. Well, if I leave my point unaltered here on my bezel, I'm going to have too much material here at the very tip. Now for this one, I'm going to use that tungsten carbide. It's the ACP2, and it's very aggressive. It's also, this one happens to be the cylinder. And what I can do is just come in here and grind away at this tip. Again, it's going to take some finessing on my part to keep everything steady. It wants to kind of spin away from me. And I can just easily grind down this point until I have it to the length that I need to cover the tip of my stone properly. Now another place I like to use these bits, now this one happens to be the A-203. This is a tapered bit. This will allow me to get into some of my tight areas. That one doesn't look too bad, but here I didn't get quite as well filed as I would have liked, and so you can see we have a little bit of a ridge right there. And what I can do is take this and just come in here and just gently smooth out and kind of taper my wire into my metal so that I will then have a better join between this wire and this wire. Takes a little bit of time because again, I'm just doing it very, very gently and just kind of reshaping this wire ever so slightly, and I just kind of work my way back and back forth. This will also allow me to get into really tight areas if I happen to have something right here that needs to be addressed. Now if let's say I had something in between two of these wires, this would allow me to really just come in here and work really tight up against these joins. I can also use it here on the back end to kind of clean up some of this excess solder that's in here. So again, I would just gently come in and move through across this solder and just smooth that back out. Now remember, it's very important if you're going to ever use any type of machinery like this, always wear your safety glasses, wear your hair back, wear a mask if necessary, just to keep your lungs clear as well. So even with just these few examples, you can see how handy these tools can be. I use them all the time for that really fine work. A lot of times I will even use them in some of my piercing work so that I can get into some of those tight corners that you just can't get into with a file or anything else like that. But again, you're limited only by your imagination. So I would highly suggest that you get a kind of a variety of these. And that is the nice thing. Foredom offers multiple assortment kits. You can order them individually, or you can order an assortment kit that has different sizes as well as different shapes. As always, if you guys have any questions, make sure you leave a comment down in the comment section. We'd be happy to answer any of those. If you like the video series, make sure you give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring that bell so that you don't miss any of the videos. We will see you guys next time.